Hello there. Did you know that I like coffee? I really like coffee. I didn't always like coffee. I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather would always have coffee flavored ice cream and I'd be like, yuck, I don't want that. As of course I've gotten older, my taste buds have altered, and now I enjoy coffee very much. It keeps me energized, it keeps me going. Although I don't drink it as much as other people do, I find myself often in need of a morning refreshment to just, enliven my senses and just live life. So today I'm going to be doing the coffee film tag. Coffee, movies, two things I enjoy very much. And of course you can't do coffee film tag unless you actually have coffee with you. So I have this Starbucks S'mores Frappuccino. I've already drank some of. And of course what the coffee film tag is, it is a list of different types of coffee that correlate to certain films. So let's do this. Black coffee. A film that's hard to get into but has lots of hardcore fans. For this one, I'm going to go with Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's movie from the mid-90s. I don't really see what the big deal is. I mean, it was okay. I kind of enjoyed it. I would watch it again because it's interesting, but it's not something where I finish it and I'm like, wow, what a movie. That did so much for me. It really just... I know it's not supposed to be about anything, and that's part of the charm of it, and that's not really my problem with it. I just don't think what I'm seeing is brilliant. It's enjoyable, but I don't really see why all the fans love it. But I'm glad they do. I'm glad that people like Pulp Fiction. Good for them. Enjoy your Pulp Fiction. Peppermint Mocha, a film more popular during the holiday season. Now, everyone else on the internet has done Elf for this. But I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna go very classic on you, and I'm gonna go It's a Wonderful Life. The reason why I've chosen It's a Wonderful Life as the movie that I find is just more popular during the holiday season, because there's lots of movies that fill this category, is because I feel It's a Wonderful Life isn't just a Christmas movie. A lot of people associate it with Christmas, but if you really look at it, only 20% of the movie takes place on Christmas or even is about Christmas at all. The first 3/4 of the movie have nothing to do with Christmas. It's all about this guy's family and the relationship he has had with this town. And the ending just so happens to be on Christmas. But unless the film continually revisits Christmas, I don't feel it's really a Christmas film. I would never define It's a Wonderful Life as a Christmas film. Is it a good movie to watch on Christmas? Sure. I would watch Groundhog Day around Christmas because there's snow in it. But I don't think It's a Wonderful Life is so much a Christmas movie. Even though it's got, family and angels and all that. So that's why I picked that one. Hot Chocolate, your favorite children's film. What can I say? I love Peter Pan. I love it so much. It's not a movie I've reviewed yet, but I really feel like it's so underrated. I think that what director P.J. Hogan did with the material is really fantastic, and I think it's the most accurate adaptation I've ever seen of J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, which is one of my favorite books ever. This movie spoke a lot to me when I was a kid, and I didn't really care as much about the Disney Peter Pan, although I saw it a couple times. I like this one, with Jeremy Sumpter's performance as Peter Pan. This is my favorite depiction of Neverland. It's my favorite depiction of the mermaids. The girl who does Wendy is top-notch. Jason Isaacs is in complete height of his powers as Captain Hook. I mean, if for those of you who don't know, it's the same actor who played Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies and the villain in The Patriot. He just kills it in this character, and I don't feel like anybody else is matched up as Captain Hook. And above all else, James Newton Howard's score is unbelievable. It's sat with me to this day. I know almost all the lines. I just love it to death, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. Double Shot Espresso, a film that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. There's no doubt about this one. Gone Girl, David Fincher's movie from 2014. I feel like everybody's probably seen Gone Girl at this point, but if you haven't, just go check it out because you're gonna be riveted from start to finish. And it is such a brilliant thriller with so many twists and turns. It's not conventional at all. It's not just a whodunit. From the very beginning of the movie, even though the movie's not necessarily fast-paced, you're still just literally, totally engaged. Like, oh my god, what is gonna happen? Like, what is gonna happen? And then there's so many WTF moments where it's like, oh, what's happening? Yeah, shocking. Starbucks, a film you see everywhere. A film that you see on like t-shirts, posters, Hot Topic, whatever. It's the Avengers. You see these people everywhere. There's so many. I mean, I have a Captain America shirt myself. I remember when Age of Ultron came out, there were tons of Ultron shirts and hats and posters, and it's just such a big deal, so that's probably the one I'm gonna go with. Hipster Coffee Shop. Give an indie film a shout out. For this one, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite independent movies and my favorite standalone film ever, and that is actually The Brothers Bloom. This movie is highly underrated, it's highly underseen. It's directed by Rian Johnson, the guy who did Brick and Looper, and he's also directing Star Wars Episode 8. This guy's a good director, and this is his best movie. The movie is about two con artist brothers, obviously called the Brothers Bloom, played by Adrian Brody and Mark Ruffalo, who decide to rip off an heiress as their last big job before one of the brothers, Bloom, played by Adrian Brody, decides that he wants to quit. So this is their last big thing, and Rachel Weisz plays Penelope. She's incredible. It's my favorite performance from her, and it leads them on an amazing adventure that goes to Greece and Prague and Mexico, and I just think it's awesome. Also, Rinko Kikuchi from Pacific Rim is in the movie, and she's awesome. And Robbie Coltrane, who played Hagrid in Harry Potter, is in this, and he's pretty good too. Oops, accidentally got decaf. A film you expected more from. I could go on and on about this category because there are so many movies that disappoint me, but above everything else, two movies popped into my head, and I guess I'm gonna have to go with these. So first off, How to Train Your Dragon 2, I expected a lot more from, but that was because everybody else around me hyped it up as being amazing. The movie is not as great as they said it was. It was enjoyable, but it has serious structure problems and incredibly huge theme problems. Not to mention a couple of plot holes that I just can't overlook. It's definitely a flawed film, and it pales in comparison to the original. The other movie I'd like to mention is Godzilla, the 2014 movie. I expected more from it because I expected something a lot simpler than what I got, which was a really complicated movie that didn't need to be. I expected a very simple movie about Godzilla attacking Tokyo and very well-directed acting scenes with a good cast and a thought-provoking story, which of course was what the film was marketed as, but what we ultimately ended up getting was a movie that was very much a bait and switch. It was barely about Godzilla at all, and slowly moved away from Japan as the movie went on, killed off all the best characters, and just led me down into a pit of despair that I call The Perfect Blend, a film that was bitter and sweet but still left you satisfied. Actually, this one was pretty easy because there's only one movie I could actually think of, and that movie is Man of Steel. The movie is not perfect. There are lots of things that a lot of people don't like, and there are some things I don't like either. Mainly the pacing was really terrible. There was very little downtime. The characters in the story takes itself way too seriously. But at the end of the day, there were so many things the movie did right. The scene at the beginning with Krypton, all the visuals, the acting, the casting, and the ending was so satisfying. I really can't ignore the fact that Man of Steel is an excellent film in my opinion, even though it had a lot of bad things in it. Coffee with My Sugar, a film you might love a little too much. This one came pretty easy for me as well because it was an undoubtable, immediately jump into my head, and that is Atlantis: The Lost Empire. I adore this film. I think it is completely underrated and largely underseen Disney movie. I know nearly all the lines. I quote it very frequently. I annoy everyone around me. I watch it more than any other movie that I have, and it's a problem. I just love the Jules Verne exploration aspect of the film. I like the Atlantean culture. I like the characters. I like how the movie gives itself time for you to get to know all of them. I like that a lot, and I think it's definitely a standout film of Disney that goes highly under the radar, and more people should watch, absolutely, but I love it so much. And coming in at the end, Friends Don't Let Other Friends Drink Starbucks, a film you try to force others to avoid. But here's the thing about this one, I don't actually try and convince a lot of people not to see movies. If you want to watch a movie, I think you should. I don't really think that it's really should be up to me to tell you not to see something. But there is one movie, actually the only one I could think of, that I do tell people not to watch, and that's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. First of all, I'd like to point out, I don't think this is a terrible movie. I do think it's not a very good Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and I'm not going to explain why, except for the fact that I do feel that the third Pirates film, At World's End, has a perfect ending. The movie closes off all the storylines with all the characters and sets Jack up, Captain Jack Sparrow, exactly where he began at the beginning of the first film. With him in the dinky little boat, sailing off into the sunset, going off to find ways to keep himself young, or immortal, or whatever. The whole thing is about the pursuit of immortality. All three of the films deal with that. And Barbossa has the Black Pearl again. He has the same ship that he did as the beginning of the first one, and it all came full circle. And and Mr. Gibbs is in Tortuga drinking with the same girls as before. I love that. I like how the story just comes, all the way around. And the fourth movie is like, nope, we're making another one. And I think that ruins the beauty of the ending of the third one, and I think that that's where people should stop with that series. If they're going to get a perfect story, you don't need to keep going. If you want to, that's fine, but I'd say don't. So that's the only movie I recommend for people not to see. Everything else, go see it, enjoy it, have fun. So I'm gonna tag a few people in this video because I just feel like it. Some of them are big, so I'm not sure they'll be able to get back on this, but I'm gonna tag Jeremy Johns, I'm gonna tag Chris Stuckman, and The Sun Will Rise. Hope you guys have fun doing the coffee tag. Thanks for watching, everyone, and if you like this video, you can click the yellow subscribe button up above to get anything new that I put out, or you can click any of the links below to check out some of the other videos that I've made. I hope you had a great day and have a spectacular tomorrow. S'mores flavored coffee. Jeff Goldblum once said in Jurassic Park, "You scientists were so focused on whether you could that you never stopped to think whether or not you should." Well, I'm glad they did. S'mores coffee.